Hey everybody, Alan here. Welcome back to the channel. If you are returning, if you're not, then just welcome. Thanks for tuning in either way. Please give the bell a little click there. Hit subscribe if you wouldn't mind. All that stuff helps out with the channel immensely. And if you want to help out a little more, please don't be shy. Hit that super thanks button. Just donate $1, or if you can donate change, donate change. I'm not sure what the lowest is you can donate, but if like everybody donated $1, then I could get that lift up easy. I could get that done twice. But enough talk about that. Thanks again. But today we're getting on the truck. This will be part 2 of the rear diffuser. So we actually have part of it in today. It's sitting up right over there, and it looks pretty simple from here, yes, but I don't have the tools to fold it, and it was just easier to have someone else do it. So like you saw in the last video with the truck anyways, we got to remove the exhaust again, and that exhaust will not be going back on once we stick the air diffuser on. It's just a V-flange way up there, and then these two hangers right here and here. And we're gonna have to lift the truck up a little higher or let the rear end drop down so we can sneak it out of there. We want to save it just in case the new exhaust is just too loud and obnoxious to drive around. But then after we get the exhaust out of the way, we can shave off these rivets here and punch them out and use those holes as mounting holes for the air diffuser, and then we'll also put a couple of mounting holes, maybe. I'm not even sure we need to put mounting holes up here because it'll be bolted solid. It's just gonna sit flush up against here. You'll see when I get it up there, and you'll also see why I had to raise these shackles up. If you haven't watched the last video, go watch that last video, part 1 of the air diffuser. You'll see how I shorten these shackles and the hangers. So I was really on the fence about whether or not I wanted to do the exhaust the way I'm gonna do it, and in the end it's just about taking a big leap and doing what, you know, really I want to do, regardless of, you know, the weird looks you're gonna get. I'm worried that it's gonna look a little import, and just the fact that I'll be doing a big no-no in the VA world, arguably, and that's keeping a single exhaust. I'm going away from dual back to single. Well, first we got to get rid of that ground wire there. I win. Yes, I drilled it out to the wrong size. I thought it was a 3/8 16, and it wasn't, but I got lucky. And it still fits in the connector here. Boom, now it's out of the way. Small victories. And I almost forgot, but these support rods got to come off too, because it comes out almost all the way to the fender. Was that the wrong size? This is the wrong size. Okay, here we go. Pull out the torch. got this thing. It's not a torch. Ooh, it's grabby. Well, that took forever. I hate using this thing. It's all over the place. Hey, but it came out! Why won't it come out? Okay, I'm busted. I tried to test fit it without you guys. Man, it didn't fit. So, no, the issue is that I made my measurements a little too perfect. It's cut to tuck up inside here and go all the way to the inside on both sides. But now I can't actually get it in there. I was trying to tuck one end up in and then maybe this end could pop in, but it's just a little too wide by a few inches. So I'm hoping I'm going to try to pop off these step covers here, and there's 4 bolts for the step braces, and see if that'll let me move them out. First I'll do one and see if it moves at all, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, here's these 4T40s now. Alright, let's just see what this does. Oh, that spreads a lot further.
Who let Gen X off the hook? Why aren't we talking shit about those guys?
Because, sir, we will fuck you up. We fought in real life, not on the internet. We are the last generation of feral children. We didn't have safe spaces. We didn't have trigger warnings. No one was allergic to fucking gluten. We mind our own business. We are older than Google. We are not the bigger person. Leave us alone.
What you doing?
Okay, come over here. I need you. Hold this out right here. Come here, Leo. Hold it right there with 2 hands. So you might want to squat. Okay, now you don't pull too hard. Don't pull too hard. Squat so you're comfortable. Okay. Stay there.
Watch their fingers.
Can you pull just a hair more? Oh, we're in.
Ow, 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 my finger.
Pull harder, a little harder, pull a little harder. There you go. All right, let it go, guys.
Ow, you kind of cut my finger.
Did it cut you?
I'm sorry, buddy, but
Really dirty.
Oh, pinched you. Okay.
Really dirty.
but you made it happen. Whew, this thing fits in there perfect. I mean, it's sagging a little bit right now because I don't have it bolted up, but it's pinched in between these so good, so perfectly, that the fenders are holding it in place. You know, these steps are holding it in place on the inside. Sagging a little bit. Let's see. There. Let's see if I can. And there's just enough room to slide back and forth. And the bolt holes will go back together. So that's sweet. I gotta crawl under there and mark some holes. I'm gonna lift it back up under the axle so I can try to sit up in there and reach in there and mark those holes with a pen, and then we'll pull it back out. But first we need to do some welding. I realized that this frame and everything is just kind of wobbling around without the bolts and rivets in there, obviously, but what I didn't realize is it was gonna make it difficult putting bolts in here. So everything's all kind of out of alignment. So I'm gonna throw some welds in here to you know, prevent that obviously with the holes already lined up here. That way I can mark the holes proper and not have to try to fight feeding the bolts in and lining the frame up on both sides and all that. Alright, so now those are welded up. We can mark some holes. Alright, riv nuts are in. Here's my idea. I'm going to take these body bolts. It's got a point on them. They just happen to be the exact thread, 6mm 1.0. Yeah, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do 2 more in the back. And then we'll slide this in, hammer on it, and that should give us our 4 points to drill holes at. Let it go in. Woo, that was loud. I'm going to start with the little pilot hole, then we'll move to the step bit. Oh, heck yeah. Alright, well that part's done. It's all bolted up there. Had to elongate a couple holes, but hey, it's okay. Now we gotta get some cardboard and start making some templates for the fins. I think I'm gonna put about 8 of them if I remember right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, everybody, so it's actually been a little bit since that last clip you just saw. Like a month. I put out like 3 videos, I think. There's 2 unboxing and then me making the plasma table. And then that's where we're at. Now I've got the arc droid and I've got some aluminum. I've made a template, which I don't think I showed any of you guys yet. So let me show you what this template looks like up against the truck. Now if you've been following along my other social medias like Facebook and Instagram or TikTok, you probably would have seen this plenty already, but I'm trying to match it right up here to the same profile as the step bumper here. So I've been playing around on Fusion 360. I haven't tried tracing the thing yet. I kind of want to, but I knew I was going to need some kind of program eventually, so I just wanted to try drawing it out. That way I knew I could get these. I know these are all 90 degrees from each other, and I know these lengths are perfect, and you know, this is really important to me for fitting right up against that plate in there. The rest of this, you know, is a little bit of trial and error. So my first shot didn't quite line up right. It was a little short in some spots, and then the contour just wasn't quite matching the cardboard. It stuck out too far here, and it's too shallow here. It just wasn't lining up with the step over there on the truck. So I drew up a second attempt trying to adjust that, basically just see if I can get a little bit closer to the cardboard template. And I'm about to send it. This is it here on the screen. I think all we need to do is just see what happens. Okay, attempt 2 of the fin. I'm going to turn on the juice. Hit run. Here we go. Don't look directly at it. It hurts. Alright, so there's a little bit of difference, not much. I'm not sure if the changes are just kind of too small for the machine to register or what, but we line up these two edges because these stay the same. This is where the roll pan is, and then you can see it did get about a little shorter there like I wanted. And we can see if we look straight down, this is lined up, but the bottom one that I just cut out drops a little bit like I wanted. But then this whole curve was supposed to be slightly different shaped, yet it turns out it looks like it's exactly the same as the last one. So I'm not sure if I didn't save it at the right time or changes are just too small to really be registered. But I'm gonna cut some slices in it like I did here, so we can fold those over and they end up being below or flush with this surface. If we didn't cut slices and we tried to fold it, it would really tweak all of this and probably end up being above this surface. So that was something I learned from the people that cut the first part of the roll pan for me. They have a laser cutter, so their cuts are a lot cleaner than mine, and not as wide, and it looks a lot cleaner. But you know, I realized they did that for me too. Okay, so that actually was the corrected version. I realized I had cut, the other one was down there in the cardboard box. You can see if we line up those flat 90-degree angles there, how far off it was from the second one I cut. And then of course it's a lot shorter now too. So that's the old one. This is the one I just cut out. It is identical, obviously, because it's the same file. And we're gonna roll with these. I'm gonna cut 4, or bend 4 with the tabs this way and bend 4 with the tabs the other way, so they're all facing inward. I'll have 8, 4 will be facing, all will be facing towards the center. So let's cut out a second, or a third one actually, here. And then once I've done this, I've actually redrawn the file, or just kind of copied and pasted and modified the file to where it cuts out 2 at the same time in this orientation. Okay, so I've got the file set up to cut 2 here. Let's see if it works. Okay, I've gotten all of them cut out. I actually got 9 cut out, just because after I made the file of pairing them together, I ended up with an extra one, which is okay because there was a boo-boo. This metal, this aluminum is pretty thin and it likes to warp pretty bad. So even though I figured out the height position, I almost had another boo-boo. It's the same thing that happened last time, is when I was cutting out the other one that was shaped, you know, this way or whatever. It drug and went bap 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 and didn't come all the way down before it started making its next, you know, line this way. Ended up cutting through the other tab. This time I was able to stop it, but man, I don't know how to stop this warping. Well, I got them all cleaned up here. Just got to carve these lines and bend the tabs. I bolted them all together so I could get everything looking exactly the same. Just a lot of sanding. I'm not too worried about making them all perfect back here. But I did spend a lot of time on this surface and that surface, and then of course this one, because this is the profile you're going to see as you're coming around to the back of the truck, and so it's really important for me that these all be the same. Alright, I've got the slices, just eyeballed them, approximately the same thickness as the metal. And you can see I've got that line. The edge of the actual metal is about the thickness of the metal below this blade, which is really where I want to put the bend of the tab. It might seem wrong. It seemed wrong in my head first too, but we're gonna send it. Here we go. Oh, I think I nailed it perfect. That one turned out really good. Let's see if this one turns out just as good. Oh, got stuff in the way over here. And now you can see that's what that's about. That way the tab is the same height as that surface. Well, we're here at the truck and we can tell that this side is clearly different from this side. So it's a bit of an oversight on my part, but I'm over it. There's nothing I'm gonna do about it now. But I did get the measurement, the spacing. They're gonna be about every 7.5 inches here, with the center possibly being like a 1/16 or an 1/8 wider than that. And there's two just taped in place for now. And then I'll have to crawl underneath and space the back ends of them and make sure they're all correct. And I can mark some holes for the bolts, drill them out, bolt them all in place with some more of those awesome eBay bolts. All right, here's where I'm at so far. I've just taped them up approximately 7.5 inches apart here. I've got this one set up between two pieces of wood that are both 7.5 inches, give or take a 1/16. But we're gonna set this up so I know they're parallel and between my two marks here, and then we'll draw some holes under there. And hopefully the back end will be centered too, but we'll double check that.
Those look exact. No, not the back ones. The back ones are in the back. You need to go that way slightly.
Okay, make the new marks. The front ones are exact?
I can't see the other one. Yeah, pretty much. I'll fill in these new ones.
Okay. See if this works. Not bad. So what I did was drilled it out with a 3/8. Should be just a hair smaller than 3/8, but I don't have that specific size. 3/8 works well enough, it bites. Then I chamfered it with a 1/2 inch, which is just enough to let it sink in there. I'm gonna see if I can try to let the next one sink in a little further, but obviously I gotta be careful because I don't want to accidentally punch all the way through. Someone's hooting. Oh, it's just turbo blow
Yeah, I
off.
was gonna say, it sounds like a turbo, like some of the diesel turbo.
It's all woo! Just having a good time. So that had to happen. Just the tip, mind you. Yeah, it was in the way of putting in this fin, and that means even if I took it off at the flange, I wouldn't be able to put it back. I wouldn't be able to drive it until I made the new exhaust. But that is going to be in a separate video, and I didn't want it just sitting because actually I need to get on the Dodge transmission next before I really do the exhaust video on this. And there it is. All 8 fins in place. It is done. Mwah! Chef's kiss. Check out the underside. Let's start over here. Huh? Not bad, right? Riv nuts to the rescue. Wait, what the? No, I'm just kidding. We had a boo-boo with this one. The cross member that goes from frame to frame right underneath this panel is in the way of the riv nut, so I couldn't sink the riv nut in all the way in the hole. That's an oversight I'm gonna have to fix later. But I am so happy to see this thing come to fruition, like my vision from a dream in my head to a sketch. I took some drawings to another guy, they made one part. I made some drawings myself, I made the fins. It's done. It came out exactly how I envisioned it. It's beautiful, it's perfect. So check it out from this angle. I love that. That is just cool. Just as cool as the rest of it. You coming around this way and what? But in order to fix that fin, I'm gonna have to take the bedside off again and slide it out and then like carve out that part of the cross member. But that's going to be another time, definitely another episode. Next episode, it's got to be the transmission. I got to get the Magnum out there on the road. We're waiting on parts for a while, so I started this project, then we ended up waiting on parts for this project, and then the parts came in for everything kind of at the same time, but I was determined to get this one done, and well, here we are. But thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, share, all that good stuff. If you want to help, you want to donate a little more, even though you guys are doing so much already, it's awesome. A little more always helps. We can get this lift up, man. And I'm tired of crawling on the ground. I would have made that job so much easier. It'd make the transmission job easier. I gotta crawl on the ground for that job. I've had to crawl on the ground for the Chrysler job. I'm getting too old for this stuff. And not to mention, it's hot as Hades out here today, and it's raining. There was a second ago. It's like 95 degrees or 99 degrees with the humidity 35, raining and sweating at the same time. It sucks, but we're getting through it. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.